channel, Naturally Beautiful Girl. I recently did a video where I was testing out other clean beauty influencers' best makeup of 2020. I will link that video up above. I had so much fun doing that and you guys seemed to really like it. So I decided to do a little bit of a spin on that video, and today what I'm going to be doing is retrying out some of my favorite products from like 2019 and 2018. A lot of the products I was like, yeah, these are still favorites of mine. One good example of that was the Fortini setting powder. I think I've mentioned that in like every yearly favorites video. But there were a lot of products that I realized I just haven't touched in a while, and that's the thing is I try out new products and sometimes my favorites shift. I'm going to be applying a lot of these old favorites of mine and see if they still hold up today. So if you like this type of video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and of course if you like hearing about clean beauty, be sure to subscribe to my channel and click the bell button so you're notified of when I post new videos, and come follow me on Instagram. I'm at naturallybeautifulgirlkat there. So let's go ahead and start applying some products. So the first product that immediately came to mind was the Ilia True Skin Serum Foundation. This was in my 2019 and 2018 favorite products. I have two shades of it. I have Formentera and also Sable. I've been preferring Sable. It's a little bit more yellow toned, but it's a little bit of a lighter shade. This is Sable here. So I've been gravitating a little bit more towards this one. So this is what I'm going to be applying today. Also, as you can tell, this is the old Ilia packaging. I've had this for a while. I was looking through these videos and I'm like, probably all these products I need to like clear out of my collection. I need to do a really big declutter. So let me know if you'd be interested in seeing that on my channel. I was thinking maybe doing like a little mini series of like reels on Instagram. Let me know what you'd be into for that. I've been going for pretty light coverage foundation, so I think I'm going to try and target that today as well, not get too much coverage going. We'll see if this foundation can do that. Maybe a little bit more. That was not quite enough. This was able to give a really nice light level of coverage. I remember when I used to use this foundation, I used to build it up a lot and I could actually build up quite a bit of coverage. But this was reminding me today that this foundation is super versatile. You can get really light coverage or build up more coverage. It is beautiful. Like the finish is beautiful. You really can't tell that I'm wearing foundation. I've been looking at it up close in the mirror and it still looks really, really good. Yeah, I remember why I like this foundation. It's still really good. I think it just kind of fell off the map, especially because Ilia launched their Super Serum Skin Tint, but this is still a fantastic foundation. One of the things I remember really liking about this was that it held up super well on my skin, even though I do have more oily skin. What kind of inspired me to do this video was because I picked up the new shade of the Ilia True Skin Serum Concealer. I have the shade Mallow. And this is now the fairest shade that they had. I remember that this used to be one of my favorite concealers, and sure enough, when I was looking through my favorites, I listed for my 2018 and 2019 favorites. I believe this came up, I don't know if it came up in both years, it at least came up in 1 year. So this is the new shade. Let me apply this under my eyes because I've got some dark circles going on at the moment. But yeah, let's see how this looks. This shade though, that I have to say, this shade is so much better. It's fairer and like actually brightening under the eyes, which I appreciate. I really like the shade of this concealer, but this is gonna be a little controversial. I don't love the formula as much as I remember loving the formula. I feel like it looks a little bit dry under my under eyes. I mean, I am, I have been getting older. And 2 years has passed and my skin, of course, has been aging a bit in the meantime. But I'm also not convinced the coverage is as much as it used to be. And I'm wondering if it has to do with the shade, if this like lighter shade of the concealer, while it is nice and brightening, and I think you can see that coming across on camera, like the level of coverage isn't as high. I don't know if I've just gotten used to more high coverage concealers, because I used to think this was a very high coverage concealer, or if it's the shade just being lighter, if that affected the level of coverage. So the shade Mallow, 10 out of 10, much better than the shade Arrowroot, which used to be the lightest shade, but I'm just not loving the formula as much as I used to. So next up, I'm going to be setting my under eyes and using my 14E setting powder. And if you guys have been watching my channel for any length of time, we don't need to do the song and dance. We know I still love this. I use this every single day to set my under eyes, well, pretty much, unless I'm testing out another powder. I reach for this one if I'm not testing out something, because it's like my go-to setting powder. What I love about this setting powder is it sets things really well. Like, it is one of the best setting powders in the clean beauty space in terms of like really locking things in. It doesn't make things creasy or cakey. It just like sets everything and it makes your concealer still look good. And it doesn't, I don't find that it really deepens up my concealer, because some setting powders I find will actually deepen the concealer a little bit, kind of cause it to oxidize. This doesn't do it. So this concealer just checks every single box. It's perfect. The only thing I wish is that they had like a pressed powder form. That would be kind of cool, but I really like it. And you know, the fact that it's a loose powder, at the end of the day, it works so well it doesn't bother me. Next up, I actually have this concealer. And this one, I completely forgot about how much I used to like it. This is the PYT concealer. This is like their little concealer crayon stick. And I'm gonna be using this because I don't know if you can see it, but I have a breakout like right here next to my eyebrow. And I could just use a bit more coverage. So I'm gonna be applying this to that spot. And I remember liking this concealer for spot concealing. I think I also used it under my eyes, but I specifically remember liking it for spot concealing. That did a really great job of just adding a little bit more coverage in that area. And the shade Fair Neutral actually matches the Sable foundation shade really well. So still good in my book. I'm going to be applying a powder blush today. So I'm going to be setting my face first. This, of course, has been a favorite of mine for a long time. This is the Clove & Hallow Pressed Powder Foundation. I've been using this for years to set my foundation, and I still love it. I still reach for it. I have gone through so many of these and replaced so many of the pans. It is in refillable packaging, which is nice, but I will, and I've already hit pan on this one, as you can see, but I will be using this to set my face today. It just sets everything really well, adds a little boost of coverage. And what I like about this pressed powder foundation is that it really helps foundations hold up well on my oily skin. I've tried a lot of different setting powders, and this one I just find really provides me with a good staying power. I'm gonna actually do my brows quickly off camera. The two products I don't have for this video are brows and mascara. The reason is because I don't wanna open up any new mascaras at the moment because I already have a couple of tubes going, and that would just be really wasteful. And for brows, I don't actually have any of the brow products on hand. That used to be my favorites. Those were the Eco Brow Pencil, which I can still say I really like that brow pencil. It is a really nice one. And the other one was the Jane Iredale Brow Gel, which to my memory was a really good one. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my Pacifica High Step Hemp Fiber Brow Gel on my brows. I've been loving this one for a long time, and it really has become a product that I just repurchase regularly. So I feel like it fits in with the spirit of the video. In case you're wondering, I still love that brow gel. I think it's a lot better than the Merit Beauty Brow Gel, to be honest. It provides more hold. So yeah, that's been the one that I've really been enjoying. My brows are now filled. I just love this so much. It just provides perfect amount of color. And the other thing that I know is my brows are gonna stay in place. I have pretty thick brows, and I really need a brow gel that's gonna hold everybody in place, and this one does. So now on to blush. The blush that was a favorite of mine was the Jane Iredale blush in the shade Dubonnet. I love these like pinky brown shades. I wouldn't have thought they look really good on my skin tone, but they do. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this today. I'm using my EcoTools, this is their bronzer brush, but it's become one of my favorite brushes to use for powder blushes. This is still a great blush shade and also formula. It just applied really easily, blended easily. It's not overly pigmented. Also, I'm not sure if all the Jane Iredale shades are matte blushes, but this one is a matte blush shade, so it doesn't have any shimmer in it. Moving along to highlights. Actually there were two highlights here that were in my favorites, but I decided to go with the powder highlight because I just used a powder blush. So the highlight we're going to be talking about is the Crop Naturals highlighter in the shade Moon Dust Monty. And I know that I still love this because it lives in my everyday makeup drawer. So in front of me is my vanity, and I have a drawer here where I keep makeup I reach for every day. I have a set of Alex drawers right next to me which I love this setup, like this whole filming setup, because it means that my Alex drawers are right next to me. So even if it's not in my everyday makeup drawer, I find myself being able to reach for different products really easily because they're right here. But this one does live in my everyday makeup drawer because I think it's a beautiful highlighter. It is more pink in undertone. Oh, it's just such a beautiful highlighter. I love it so much. We are going to move on to eyes. I had two eyeshadow palettes that were favorites of mine that I haven't reached for in a while, and the first one is the Jane Iredale Trio in the shade Triple Cognac. This is a really pretty neutral trio. The shadow formula is amazing. I know, because I still love it and I still reach for it. And this is like when I was traveling, obviously I'm not traveling right now, but this was like my staple eyeshadow that I would bring with me while I was traveling. This and the Kosas 10-second eyeshadow globe, like those were my eyeshadows I would bring when I was traveling. So I already know that I still love this. I know I still love this one as well. This is the Aether Beauty Rose Quartz palette, but I haven't used this one in quite a while, so this is the one we're going to be using today. I can tell you I still love it. The Aether Beauty formula is incredible, but I just haven't reached for this one for a while, so it's a good excuse to use it in this video. First, I'm going to pop on my Erin's Faces eye primer, which is my all-time favorite eye primer. Unfortunately, Erin's Faces is discontinuing it, at least temporarily. I talked to Erin a little bit about this. It's not 100% sure whether it's a permanent or temporary discontinuation. I mean, like a lot of brands, one of the things she struggled with is sourcing, especially during this time. Like, just supply chains are really messed up on all different levels and scales. So if you've been curious about this, I would recommend picking it up now. And also, I did stock up and buy another tube. So if you are a lover of it and want to stock up, I highly recommend that. This is the best eye primer I've ever found. So I hope it comes back. I genuinely don't know what I'm gonna do if it doesn't. First, I'm gonna start off with this shade right. I guess I can pull this right side out. I'm gonna start off with this shade right here, which is Rose Quartz, and apply this on my lid. Next, I'm going to take this shade right here, which is Reawakening, and kind of tap that over Rose Quartz. This isn't a color I've messed around with as much in the palette, but I figured it'd be a good time to use it in this video. This brings a little bit more warmth to Rose Quartz. Yeah, as you can see, it just warmed up Rose Quartz a bit. To no one's surprise, I'm going to take the shade Sandstone right here and pop this in my crease. Then I'm going to pop a little bit of the shade right here, Stardust, not fully in my inner corner, but kind of in the inner portion of my eye, just to brighten my eyes up a little bit. These eyeshadows are so good. They're genuinely some of the best in the clean beauty space. Even though I haven't reached for this palette in a while, like, they're just spot on. Okay, I'm gonna pop off camera for a second and apply some mascara. The mascara that came up, of course, in my favorites was the Honest Beauty mascara, which I can tell you, I still love that one. I have another tube of it ready to go when I need it. I think today I will go ahead and apply the Victoria Beckham Beauty mascara. All right, I've got my mascara on, which means we are ready for the final product, which is a lip product. And The one that I obviously had to use for this video is the Ilia Color Block Lipstick in the shade Rosette. To be honest, I've not reached for this for a while, and part of it is because I know that it is old and I need to get rid of it. Like, I need to replace it with a newer one of these lipsticks. So I'm going to put it on today, and then after this video is done, I'm going to remove it. This is in the pile of products that I know is just old and I need to get rid of. But I really, really like the formula. So if I like the color, like the formula today, I'm going to add it to my list of products to repurchase. So let's go ahead and apply this, and then we'll wrap up. So I did a laughably terrible job of applying this for two reasons. One, I've used so much of this lipstick that is a flat nub, which makes it extremely difficult to actually apply. It's not like tilted anymore. And second of all, I forgot how creamy and pigmented this lipstick is. Like, you need such a little mat. I was like pushing down and I forgot that you really don't have to do that. You just like put it on and it's like instant color. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna be repurchasing this. But it's a beautiful color. The formula is really creamy. And one of the things I remember loving about it was that it was a really long lasting and long wearing lipstick. I mean, it's obviously not as long lasting as, for instance, a liquid lipstick that dries down and is transfer proof. However, I was always impressed by how the balance between the comfort level of this and then how long it would wear on me. So definitely a beautiful product. I can remember now why I loved it so much, but I definitely need to do one of these. So to wrap up, to be honest, a lot of these products I still stand by and I still back. I still say they're really awesome products. The one product that was like a smidge of a disappointment for me was honestly the concealer. I just remembered liking it more than I do now. I am very curious to hear if any of you have found the same thing, if it's like the shade or maybe they reformulated it. I have no idea, but for some reason it just doesn't hit the same way as it used to. Maybe it's because there have also been a lot more concealers launched. I've tried a lot more. Maybe I've just found ones that agree with me a little bit better. I don't know, but otherwise I still love everything that was a favorite. So no surprises there. But that's also good. That means that when I tell you something's a favorite, it's really good and it stands the test of time. So if you enjoyed this video, of course, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Be sure to come follow me on Instagram. And once again, thank you so much for watching and I will see you next time. Bye.